Looting and rioting has left shops empty.
All of the doors are open. People are walking in.
The unrest was triggered by the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma.
A landslide was reported. There are still people that are missing.
Most of the roads and highways are flooded. KwaZulu-Natal, of course, is still reeling from the billions of rands in damage after the July unrest.
Gosh, I think I speak for any business person when I say that, the riots came out of firstly, COVID. Let's not even speak about the riots. COVID came out of nowhere. Obviously, when COVID hit, firstly, there was just confusion. And just as we were breathing from that, oh my God, riots hit. And, again, confusion, everything is shut down, fear and everything else. And I think it was just so soon after lockdown had happened. And for Durban, add floods to that, which then just became like a triple hit. However, here we are, and we're still standing.
The riots were an eye-opener. I don't think anyone expected it to get to the level that it did. And I think that it was just a domino effect. There's great disadvantages out there, and we need to level the playing field.
What I've also learned about the riot is that I've seen people working together to ensure that they work with them to protect their own things. So what I've learned out of riot is that relationships do work.
We reflect on the challenges that we have in South Africa, specifically when it comes to communities who have not been economically included in many of the growth that we've had in South Africa. You kind of tend to understand some of these challenges that we've had. At Property Point, our focus around local economic development is to be able to focus on economic inclusion of the communities in which we operate. Today we are on a site where a developer is starting to break ground. And what is important is that when we are prospecting for these type of opportunities in communities, are we taking the communities with us?
On behalf of the community, I'm one of the nominated community members ezenyulweyo. Isizathu ke sibangela into basenze loo nto leyo kukubona izinga labantu abatsha okokuba lihleli ezantsi alikhuli. Kule i-construction ikhula apha sinikwe i-opportunity ngoku ezifana nezinto okokuba sizokhulisa abantu abatsha kuzo.
LED was one of those policies that was a way for us to make sure that we can actually get all the stakeholders buy-in. The examples of policy is really to do training with our suppliers, which we have identified through a proper vetting process with Property Point, and at the same time also bringing them into our what we call a market day, which is really a introduction to the business with already approved suppliers, as well as our distributors and marketers.
EBBF is an umbrella for all locally based black business organizations, organize all of us together so that we can all speak in one voice. And that voice is economic inclusion. Our relationship with Property Point, including Fortress, started when we, as an organization, wrote a letter of grievance, and Property Point came to our offices where we sat down, and we actually drafted a working relationship going forward. So they took about 25 of our companies, of which a good number of those companies successfully completed this, the ESD programs, and now they are part of a value chain.
Well, if it wasn't for Property Points, LED, normally what happens is you get big companies and then we will then have to subcontract under them. Here at Kagiso Incubator, I was a principal contractor, so I needed to learn exactly what needs to be done and also to learn the scope. Kagiso Incubator. So what they're doing is they're going to get the local businesses to come and incubate them in this space that we just renovated. So this has actually been a great opportunity for me and for my business.
As Property Point, we serve as the nucleus amongst all the stakeholders. Stakeholders including the corporations, including local communities, including governments, and including small businesses as well. What the clients we serve want to see, they want to see the Property Point that gives them the license to trade, that accumulates social capital for them on their behalf, and that minimizes social risk.